And also chat, write your questions in chat section so we can try to answer while we discussing, while we just in class. Welcome. Now you can start the class, Dr. Said.
All right. So I welcome you all in today's research class. So the the thing we are going to talk about is research content. So I just give you a reminder that in the previous class we have discussed a few contents. Whenever we are talking about research contents, either that is a research article, it is a dissertation, your PhD dissertation, your master thesis, or whatever, these are the few important contents. In the previous lecture, we have talked about that how to come up with an introduction, what is the importance of problem statement, and that problem statement, how we come up with this problem statement. We have discussed the importance of research questions and how these research questions are put in a research in a very formal way, how research objectives they are connected, and how what is the actual way to present these objectives. And then we have discussed the significance of the study. What is the role of significance of the study in this thing? Now, today that is a continuous of our previous class. Today, our main areas that we are going to talk about: literature review, methodology, analysis and results, discussion and conclusion, and references. Right. So these are the important thing and that we are going to talk about in today's session. And one important thing that if we conclude all these things, all the contents of research, they are equally important. Starting from introduction, the role of problem statement, the role of research question, objectives of research, literature review, methodology, analysis, as a whole, they are the part of your research. So that's why the each and every important the content is very important. So let's start with our today's important thing, that is literature review. Now, literature review is basically one of the most important in all the research contents. It actually defines the parameters of investors field. What are the parameters? What are the issues? What need to be done? And lot of problems and lot of questions are addressed over there. The basic research or literature review, the purpose of this literature review is we are placing the research question in perspective, that what are the different perspectives of regarding this research question in the literature. So basically, we need to remember one thing, that throughout the literature review, our focus is only one thing, and that is our research question. So the perspective is our research question, and we are going to talk about in detail about these research question in literature review. The purpose of literature review is basically we are learning which methods and instrument have been useful. Had been useful mean the already people have done something. If people have if they have conducted different studies, what are the methods and instrument they have used, right? And they are how these instruments and methods are very important, and why we should follow these particular methods and instruments. So the literature review guide you about these important methods and instruments. And it also talks about the important methods and instruments that have less potential. Means less potential. From literature review you come up that there is no need to do a certain research in this particular field or in a particular instrument, that is not that worthy. So it's talk about coming up with certain research gaps and talking about the importance of your research question and field of study. And it's also avoid unintentional replication of previous studies. Let's say if already have been done something, though via literature review you can identify, and you are not involved in a certain sort of replication of previous study that already have been done. So from literature review you can come up this conclusion that it is not an replication of previous studies. Already established facts are there, so literature review also help you in this regard. Once you done with literature review, you are in a better position as a researcher, right? You are in a better position to interpret the significance of your research, that how your research is very important, what is the importance of your research, how your research is different from other people, how it will contribute something. So everything, whenever we are talking about the interpretation of significance of your results in terms of literature review, so literature review, obviously on the basis of literature review you can come up with this particular significance. Basically, whenever we are reviewing the literature, we are basically targeting what has been done. So we are searching, we are organizing and summarizing literature on a certain topic. But what has been done is our focus. And the second thing that is our focus is what need to be done. So two important things. Once you know that what has been done, so obviously what is not being done, you can come up with is your literature review. So that is basically your research gap, that okay, previous studies have done this thing, they have addressed this particular issue in this domain, different methods have been used and different item have been explored. So we come up that okay, the research has been done in this particular areas, and there is a need to be research to be done in areas where there is limited evidence is there, where scarce literature is available, where we need a more in-depth analysis. So it gives you an idea of research gap, that okay, like from this literature review we have identified this has been done and this has not been done, so we are going to do this thing. So it's really help you in finding your research gap basically. Now we have to consider important thing whenever we are talking about literature review, and there are certain guidelines. Let's say we do not include everything. Let's say if I go to research and any social issue, let's say social sustainability, so we can find like million of research on this thing. Literature review never mean that we use any everything. We only use the reviewer that is related to our particular topic and research question. Let's say social sustainability, the relationship of social responsibility, sustainability on growth or on individual growth or something. Now this is the exact topic, this is the exact research question what you are going to address. Okay, so only about that thing you are reviewing the work, and only this is the relevant thing, the rest of the thing is not relevant. So we have to search. Let's say when we go to any databases, I will talk about databases as well. So whenever we write something and we search something, we will find like million of related topics, million of related issues, right? But the important thing is that we cannot include only thing. So the best thing is, what is the best guideline? Use all the relevant topic with reference to a research question. Use, so whatever the query that you put in your search engine, in your search databases, that must be targeting the exact thing that you going to target, right? And usually it is based on your research question, that how this thing will help you in addressing your research questions. And let's say there are new topics, right? You are searching for the new topic, grounded theories, or you are talking about some new theoretical development or theory formulation. In that case, you need to review the literature that is more likely or more close to your topic, right? It's mean that you are developing a new theory, the more related theory, or that the ground or the reality that is more near to your new topic, so you can use this sort of literature. So that is how you avoid too many things in your literature review. Moving further, so in literature review, we identify a topic for investigation, right? This is usually based on our research question. we locate the relevant literature. Now, where we can locate, let's say we are using different databases. Google Scholar is one of the easily accessible databases. So we write different terminologies. We go to different. So we locate the relevant literature where that is available in books, in journals, in articles, in conference papers, in dissertations, or whatever, right? And then one thing that is really important, we need to critically evaluate this existing literature. Why we are doing or why we are interested in critical evaluation of existing research, since we are coming up with a new research, we are coming up with we are contributing something in literature. So we can only claim that we are contributing something if we have critically evaluated the existing literature, that all these research have been done in this particular aspect, they have discussed this thing, but there are very limited evidence, but these particular aspects have not been discussed. So we are critically evaluating the existing research. Let's say most of the research on social sustainability have been done in developed markets, and there are very few have they have discussed about in least developed markets or in emerging markets, right? So we are critically evaluating this existing literature in order to find that how our research is creating something and novelty or contributing something to the literature. So we organize the quality and relevant information in the writing process. We need to include the most relevant thing that is most related to our either that is a theory, either that is an empirical evidence that is more close to our research question. And then we present the information in a way that identify the existing research and purpose and benefits of the new research. So this is the core of whatever the literature review we have done. We are identifying the information about existing research, what has already been done, and what is the purpose and benefit of this research. So simply putting this, like, we are interested in that how we are contributing something, or how we are contributing to existing body of knowledge, and what is our novelty, how we are different, what is our contribution, why this reason particular research is significant, why this research is need to be done, why this research is important, what it how it will benefit the society, to the institutions, to the people, or to the research in the so this is how we can come up with a literature review. Now, whenever we are talking about literature review, so there are a, a lot of literature is available in the form of books. These are the real sources of information, or the real sources of literature. They are books, book chapters, published journals, articles. Obviously, we are looking for there is a simple thing that whenever we are talking about published journals, we always go for like already uh, socially indexed journals, right? Either they are Scopus journals or they are invested in master list, journal master list. So that shows that they are very important issues that have been discussed. So journals, we can find different journals according to our research, according to our research question, according to the field of the study. Then conference papers are there. There are certain presentations, conference presentations are there, doctoral thesis, master thesis, dissertations. So all these are valid source of literature, basically, right? So they are all the valid sources. You can use any one of them, or you can use a mixture of that. Obviously, whenever we are doing a research, we will find different books and chapters, journal article, conference papers, or presentations, and doctoral dissertation, and we can review everything. But whenever we are considering these books, chapters, journal articles, conference papers, presentations, or dissertation, we need to, since they are our main sources, so we need to choose the sources, and we need to consider few things. Let's say it is scholarly work. Scholarly work means have been published somewhere in books, in chapters, in articles, or somewhere. Does it have application to the topic? Is it relevant to our topic? Had been published? Whatever have been published, is it relevant to our that does it have a certain application to our topic in terms of either theory or whatever? And then it is based on theory. Is it based on certain theory? If that is not based on certain theory, so we cannot like basically connect that particular literature to our research question. So obviously we are looking for that it must be based on certain theory. So if any source that fulfill these three conditions, that is a scholarly work. And when we know that what exactly is scholarly work, that is published, done in a research in a very formal setting, and that is published, have been reviewed, either that is whatever the review process has been followed, it has a certain relevance and application to our topic, and it is based on certain theory. So that's why, so then we can claim, okay, like this is the exact source that we can use for our review. Whenever we are talking about these different books and journals and we have different sources, so usually two main sources are there whenever we are going for literature review. The one source is libraries. In a library there are archival piece of information, right? Usually they are the types of primary sources that cannot be retrieved online, so we can use these archival pieces of information, usually the old newspapers and the existing research and everything that fall within the domain of archival pieces of information. And if library maintain this thing, then obviously libraries in well reputed organizations, there is a very formal way of these information, so we can get a certain information from these libraries. Other than libraries, since this is now very digital data is available, we are in a very digital age, online things are available, so there are different databases. Obviously there are few databases where free to access, or there are databases that we need to pay certain. So usually libraries, they pay a certain fee to access these particular databases. And these databases, they have more articles, published articles, journals, books, chapters, edited books, government documents, newspapers, theses, dissertations, either that is master, PhD. So all these online databases. So if I talk about the major databases that we can use or we must use, that is Science Direct. We all know that Science Direct is a huge database. Million of research articles, books, and published work is already available. If you go to the Science Direct website, we can get a lot of information, a lot of literature is available over there. Then the second largest database is Scopus. The site of the Scopus, we know that Scopus is a largest databases, which it again publish million of journals over there. PubMed, that is particularly for medical based research. Emerald, like, okay, again, once again, a largest database that have a lot of research available over there. Talon and Francis, again, more database, a biggest database. Or obviously these all databases that Science Direct, Scopus, PubMed, Emerald, and Talon and Francis, we pay certain fee. There is a certain um, subscription fee that we need to pay. So once we pay this fee, or if institution have bought this thing, so we can easily use these databases for our literature review. And lastly and finally, Google Scholar, freely available. You can use this Google Scholar to search. You can come up with different tools and techniques that how we can exactly find the our literature review. So these are the different databases which are available for you to talk about your, to conduct your literature review. Whenever we are doing literature review, we need to consider few things, and this is a really important issue that we need to understand: plagiarism or similarity consideration. What exactly is plagiarism? That we are using another writer word without proper citation, that's come under plagiarism, and that is against the ethical way of writing something or publishing. So obviously there is a plagiarism policy. We need to avoid this thing. If we are writing some words from any other writer, we need to cite, we can give a citation, and there are different references system through which we can cite the work of other people. Or if we are using another writer's idea without proper citation, again that's come under plagiarism. Although we can use the writer words, although we can use the idea of other, but we need to cite. Let's say the theory of market integrity presented by Jensen and Macklin in 1976. This is their idea. We need to cite properly. If we are citing, it's mean we are not in the domain of plagiarism, and we are not claiming this is our idea. We are claiming, okay, this idea is based on certain idea which is already being presented by these few individuals, either that is in whatever whosoever have presented this idea. In terms of quotation marks, if we are producing the exact words of someone without quotation marks, that's come under plagiarism. We can use the, let's say, the quotes of any scholar, the quotes of any researcher. So if we are using the same words without changing something, so we need to put a quotation marks. It's mean you are referring that this is not your exact words, rather you are quoting someone. So again, you are citing and using the quotation marks. So it's mean that doesn't fall under the plagiarism policy. You are borrowing the structure of another's author phrase, sentence without giving the source. You are borrowing exactly what that author is doing, and you are not giving any source. So usually in literature review, you rewrite the ideas of the people. And the same time you are referring, you are citing them, that okay, this is the idea, this one is presented by this, and so on. Or you are, let's say you are borrowing all or part of the another student paper, that is again under the plagiarism, and we need to consider these things, that we are not using these things. And the most common practice, they're using the paper writing services, or having a friend write the paper. Since this plagiarism under the ethical dimension, so ethically, if we claim this is my work, so must be done by us. So this is all about our first thing, that is literature review. Now we are moving to the next content, which is again an important content, is methodology of the study. Again, it defines the steps to investigate our research question, our research problem. We already know this thing, that all these things are interrelated. Your introduction, your problem statement, your research question, your literature review, your methodology, and so on, they are all interrelated, and we are in a very specific domain. Methodology, what will be the steps? So the first step is you come up with your research question. Let's say we have a very have a just a simple statement of question, that what is the effect of word of mouth communication, that how people talks about different thing, if they are using, if they have a certain experience, what they talk about, and how this word of mouth affects on customer satisfaction. In methodology, we start with hypothesis. We hypothesize, we come up with certain statements. Let's say we assume a research question, we put it in a question form. Now we are moving to a generalized statement, what we are expecting, what we in a general way, we are not going very specifically. So let's say I have a statement that there is a positive relationship. We hypothesize a relationship, that it can be a positive, it can be negative, or whatever, but we are coming up with a generalized statement that is a positive relationship between word of mouth and customer satisfaction. Whenever we are talking about what is effect, so we assume that there is certain effect. So this is hypothesis. Usually we have null hypothesis. Null hypothesis, we start our research with null hypothesis. Keep in mind this thing, where we negate a certain relationship. Look, we are doing a research, right? And if we already established a relationship, then if I ask you this question, then why you are doing this research? If you already know the results. So we start with null hypothesis, and we assume there is no relationship. And then via using certain methodology, via using certain uh, results and techniques and tools, we come up with any decision or any argument. Either there is a relationship exist or no relationship exist. But null hypothesis, usually we start with an, we are negating whatever we have presented, and then we want to test basically. The actual the theme of null hypothesis is we are testing. So before testing, we negate whatever we are testing, since we don't want to establish a very exact relationship. So that's why usually we have a null hypothesis, where we assume there is no relationship, and then we test, and then we come up with an either conclusion that either a relationship exists or it doesn't exist, whatever. We also have an alternate hypothesis that is opposite to our null hypothesis, right? In sampling, in methodology, okay, like we have a research question, we have an hypothesis. Now how we will address this question, how we will come to know that either there exists certain relationship or not. So we start with sampling. Sampling and population, we already know population is an interest that is usually too large to attempt. Let's say if I talk about the people who are using an online based education. So in whole world, I cannot approach to all the population of the population, where the lot of people, like there are millions of billions of people who are involved in online education. So I cannot approach them. So what is the best way? I am going for a sample. So how? What is sample? From that very population, I'm choosing a very specific group, a careful chosen sample that is representative of population. So my population is all the online students who are using online system for education system, and from that I choose a group that is accessible to me, at the same time that is representative to the population, right? So let's say I'm talking about, I'm using the AIU students, right, who are involved in this process. So then okay, and then I can use this particular, that how address certain question. So sampling must be representative. How it is representative? If I'm working on a online education system, my population is all the students, and within that system all the AIU students, since they are AIU students, are basically involved in online education. Now, whenever we are talking about this sample, there are two types of sample. Either there is in probability samples, let's how we can select a sample, or non-probability. Probability where the each member, let each student have the equal chance to be selected. Usually random sampling. I'm randomly sending different questionnaires or interviewing different pupils randomly without anything, right? Or I can go for systematic sampling. Systematic means I divide in certain subgroups. Let's say the male students, female students, right? Or something. And then from male student, every 10th student I will select from. I have a list of the students. So I come up with a first and then 10th student, then 20th student. So every 10th or ith student I'm going to select. And then stratified sampling. Stratified sampling mean I am using certain stratas, certain groups on the basis of age, on the basis of education system, let's say master student, BS students, PhD students. So I am having a certain strata, and from that strata, from that sample, from that subgroups, I am getting a randomly people. So, but my stratified means I am choosing each member from a certain group. Here each member have a known chance of being selected as a sample from the population. In terms of non-probability sampling, members are selected from population in some non-random manner. Let's say convenience sampling or judgment sampling, quota sampling or snowball sampling. Convenience sampling mean if again I am using certain certain criteria, certain subgroups, judgment sampling, either that is a quota sampling, I'm coming up with certain subgroups, certain quotas from male, female, snowball sampling. Let's say if sometime I cannot find the people exactly, let's say I'm working on the people who have been drug addicted, so I cannot find the who how many people are, so I can go for a one person who is already addicted, and then I can know that do you know any other person who is already addicted to this drug? Okay, he can refer me, I can go to that person, then I can ask. So from that is how I am getting my sample. So either method, either that is a random, systematic, certified sampling, or whatever the sampling technique is, it depends on our research question, that what we exactly want to know about, so we can use this particular sampling procedures. Now moving to another important aspects of methodology, data collection. We have two type of data, quantitative and qualitative data. And how we will define, either we must use quantitative or qualitative data, it depends. Let's say if you want to conduct statistical analysis, obviously we know statistics, some numbers, numericals, certain values, we are going for quantitative tools and techniques, so our data will be quantitative nature. We want to precise something, we want to measure something, we want to cover a larger group, so we go for quantitative. Let's say larger group means I'm going to check the all the economies of the world, irrespective of developed, least developed, emerging economies. So I'm getting the data of inflation, interest rate, age group, FDI, or whatever. So a larger group, then obviously I'm going for a quantitative way of analysis. Want narrative, an in-depth information, narration type of information, whenever we are required, we are going for qualitative research. Whenever we are not sure how to measure a certain thing, there are obviously few things other than numbers, other than these things, we want to observe the behavior which is not measurable, so obviously we are going for qualitative research. And whenever we don't want to quantify, rather than how we are going for textual information or something, so obviously in that case we are going for qualitative sort of data. Within these data, either that is qualitative or quantitative, there are certain types of data. It can be a secondary data, means already data is there. Surveys data, that involves going from individual and finding certain questionnaires and getting the information. Or we may go for interviews, asking the people about a different question and getting their response. Or either we are observing something from senses, from the behavior of the people relating to a certain situation, or we are using certain experiments, right? Usually in psychology, in medical, in other, we have an experiments, we have a controlled and other groups. So these are the different type of data collection methods or techniques, and which is obviously differ from each other. For secondary sources, we have files, we have computer-based databases, we have industry and government reports, we have other reports or prior evaluations regarding any company, regarding any organization. It may be census data and household service data, survey data. It can be certain documents already published form. So secondary data is already published: chart, policies, procedures, reports, newspapers, television reports, they are all the secondary data. So it depends, like whatever the research question, how what is the most relevant. If I'm doing a research on, let's say, the census or budgets or economic aspects, so obviously I'm going for a secondary data. Then, if I am observing something, that what is happening, either I'm checking the traffic patterns in different times, in morning, in evening, in any daytime. I'm using the land use patterns. I am observing the layout of the study in rural areas, how they are differ. I'm checking the observing the quality of housing, road conditions, condition of the buildings, health clinics, right? So I am observing something, so I will go for an observation sort of data. If I'm asking people about their perception, opinion, and ideas, in that way, I'm either going for a surveys or either going for an interview. Surveys mean I'm using a questionnaire, asking few questions, and they are responding. While in interviews, I'm asking a question and getting their opinion in a verbal way, or either they are either structured interviews or not structured interviews. But here we need to consider one thing, that whenever we are using a surveys or interviews, our sample should be representative of the whole population, right? One of the issue with surveys and interviews is the problem with response rate. Interviews, no one is agree to give you a time, or sometime you get send a survey to the different people, let's say 300 people, only few of them respond to your, they are not interested. Like you are asking something, you are doing your research, maybe they are not interested. So these are the different issues in surveys and interviews in terms of primary research. And then experiments, where we have a control environment and we have an experiments. We do pre-test and post-test sort of analysis. Let's say we are checking the behavior of individuals before a certain medicine and after the use of certain. So we have a control group and we have an experimental group, the people who have taken a certain medication or who are not using any medication. So we are having it, all it depends that what type of analysis we are doing. So usually in psychology, in medicine, in education, in social sciences, where we want to check the fundamental methods and testing theories and hypotheses, we can use these experimental methods. Overall, either that is secondary data, primary data, experiments, observation, surveys, interviews. Do not let the tool drive your work, but rather choose the right tool to address the evaluation question. It is you. It is not okay. Like I like a survey method. That wise, I will use survey method. You can use experiments method. Then we are moving to our next important thing, that is analysis. Either we are now, since we have talked about in terms of analysis, that either quantitative methods or qualitative methods. So in quantitative research, our analysis will be based on numbers, secondary data, primary data, right? Let's say questionnaire data or secondary data. Now, whenever we are in analysis, in analyzing the data that we have gathered from the different sources, we are analyzing. Before analysis, we need to consider few things. Let's say we are checking for missing data. So if I am talking about secondary sources and I am getting a data of GDP, inflation, let's say general, I'm talking about a general economic data. So maybe for all the world, maybe I have a missing value for 2010 for let's say Malaysia. I have a few missing values for Thailand for let's say in 2021. So I need to check whether I have many missing data. Obviously, we have a certain treatments to address these particular missing data. Then we need to consider one more important thing, that we need to remove the outliers. Outliers mean I'm checking the all the emerging markets. Within an emerging market, data of foreign direct investment of some country is like exceptionally large data as compared to other. I have 5 countries. The data of 6 country is more. right? That is more than, let's say, the other data have 5 million and this have like billions of values. So obviously that is outlier, so it will affect our result. So we need to remove the outlier from the data in order to have an effective or important analysis. And then we are transforming variables, we are making certain proxies. Let's say if a primary research, we are transforming that what is variable and transforming in SPSS, in strata, in R. So these are the different softwares that we can use for quantitative analysis. I repeat again, SPSS, strata software, R software, these are the basically the tools of secondary and primary data, but they are the tools of quantitative data, either that is secondary or primary. And we need which statistical test, then we decide which statistical test that is important. Either we are using descriptive statistics, certain charts, graphs, frequency distribution, we may have t-test. All it depends that what is our requirement. T-test, we are comparing different mean variation from the two data set, how they are different. The t-test will help this correlation. We are interested in finding certain relationship in quantitative analysis, that how the two variables are interrelated. And then regression analysis, or we are regressing, or we want to check how one variable is affecting the other variable. In terms of quantitative, let's say our analysis is based on images, language, observations like this. And where we want to develop the content analysis. Let's say from the interview, we are using qualitative technique and we want to come up with different themes and meanings of the words, different themes and patterns. So this is how we do from mathematic analysis or other type of analysis. So all it depends that whatever the analysis we are using, either that is qualitative or quantitative, how it will address our research question.
So, Dr. Said, slide is not try to maximize, I mean, just enlarge the size of the
Okay, okay,
slide so students can easily, yeah, try to slide.
all right. So now, moving to our next important thing. When we have done with our analysis, we come up with either that is qualitative, either that is quantitative. Once we are done with this, we are coming up with results. Now, in results, we just describe whatever we have found, right? Let's say if we are using a thematic, whatever the NVIVO software is giving the results of our interviews, we are just reporting things. Whatever the R software is giving us, we are reporting. We are reporting whatever without discussing, without interpretation, and without referring to the literature. We need to consider this thing. We are just reporting our results, whatever we are finding. We are representing the facts. We are representing in the form of tables, figures, summaries, descriptions, or whatever the we find that is important. So we are just reporting whatever we have done, and the objective is to present a simple, clear, and complete explanation of the result of your research, so reader can understand, okay, these are the results. So again, this is, we need to consider one thing, that we need to write whatever we find, right? Now, this is the important thing, the discussion part of your research discussion. Now we, whatever we have found, we want to relate with existing literature. This is our finding, this is our original statement, this is our whatever the analysis we have done, how this is related with the literature review, right? So we are briefly explaining the chapter and discussing whatever we have found. The purpose is basically, either you agree with existing literature, you are supporting the how your research or sport have a certain sport. Let's say in previous studies people have identified and their findings are totally different, then you need to elaborated this, discussed that why you are different, or either your studies are not negating the previous studies, but there are certain similarities, certain evidence is already there. So you can claim, okay, that our studies is more related or existing literature. So that shows the strength of your research, and at the same time, the validity and reliability of your result and research. Ask yourself that why the results were they were, and how that provide the meaningful answer to the question. So we interpret and we give certain references, and every conclusion that is defensible. We are basically defending our research. In discussion, we are defending that I found this thing, why this relationship exists. So we are defending in terms of giving a proper sport, a proper literature sport, and I are either in the sport of certain theory. So discussion is very important. That we are now supporting our argument, we are supporting our results in the light of literature or in the light of a certain theory. And this is the since we have done everything, now we conclude. In conclusion, we need to understand few things. Usually, the four important things. First of all, we conclude whatever we have find. We summarized our conclusion. That is the summary. That whatever we have find and everything. Then we need to. This is really important in research articles. In your research, we need to address the limitation of the study. What was the limitation? I have done this research, but I cannot cover the all the. I have just done this research in emerging markets. I can do. I can. I don't have any time, or I can have don't have that much resources, or my data is limited to one. This is how we come up with limitation. We obviously every research have a certain limitations. I have done this in a certain experimental design. I have only observed a few people. I have only used the sample from these countries. So these are all the limitations. We need to understand that how, since these limitations will define that how your results are different from other research. Then you make recommendations. And this is very important thing. In previous items we talk about significance, how your research is important. Here you make recommendations, practical suggestions. I have addressed this issue. Now your research is done. Basically, we started with a research question and problem. Now this problem has been investigated. What is required? Give suggestion to whom this research will benefit and how this research will benefit. So you give a recommendation. Let's say your research is addressing the community, how this will help the community to improve their standard of living or their whatever the thing. Or how, if you are making certain research and you are addressing the issue that is faced by government, so you are giving the suggestion to that government that how we can overcome with this problem. So this is really an important that you come up with a recommendation. But remember, your recommendation is wholly solely based on your findings. This is your finding, and then you, so there must be an interrelationship or connectivity of your finding and recommendations.
Sorry,
And then
doctor.
uh,
Try
yeah,
to make it fast because time will
yeah,
be run out.
it's the last one, it's the last one. And then you make certain recommendation for further work or study, that how this research can be strengthened if someone else want to work. So we come up with further work and study, further recommendations. And finally, the references. I just recommend you, these are the important references tools. We can use these references since obviously citations and literature. So it is better to use any software. So there are few references tools: Zotero, Perella, StyleEase, EndNote, and Medley. I personally recommend you that Mendeley and EndNote, since I'm using EndNote. So these are the very you can say the best way to cite your to done your references. You don't have to hassle around and find something. So it really resolve the issue of your references. So Concluding all these things, since we are running the time, so this is all about research contents. Everything has a certain importance, but one thing I just give my final comments: there should be similarity, or there should be a one thing. There should be a connectivity among all the elements, starting from introduction to references. Connectivity must be connected. Seems like a one unit, a one research question, or one problem, a one topic. So that is why these contents are interrelated and they have their certain importance. So at the end, I hope this session have contributed something. The house is open for question answer session. Over to you,
Thank,
Doctor.
thank you, Dr. Said, for your excellent presentation. Now is the time students can ask questions, so you can answer one by one.
All
Hello,
right, all
everybody.
right.
This is the time to ask a question with lecturer, Professor Said. First, let us come to Ismail. Unmute your audio, Ismail.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Yes,
Yeah, good
welcome.
morning, Dr. Cousin.
Yeah, we have almost
Thank you.
night here.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for the presentation. Yeah, good morning, everyone, too. Yeah, my question is this. What are the implications of the review's findings for practice, policy, or future research?
All right. So usually we are you are asking about the reviews or the policy recommendation. Each and every research have a different recommendations. Sometime, let's say, if your research is designed to address a certain policy issue, so how your findings are related with policy making. Let's say if I'm doing a research and my research is basically uh, sorry, if I'm using a research and my target is basically I'm addressing one of the public issue, public policy, let's say budgeting and how budgets and taxation policies like this. So in that case, my recommendation will be policy based. I'm giving an suggestion or policy implication that if you adopt this particular thing, it will obviously help you in understanding or in finding these policy issues. So it depends that, or either that is, it may be a practical application, not for the policy making, for just you are considering the different methods. You have come up with different business methods, different marketing strategies, and you give the companies that okay, this is the best method. So this is how you make your recommendations.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank
Thank you. Now let us proceed to
you.
Stilio. Unmute your microphone.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Okay, okay. My question is, hello, we are
Yeah,
together?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Yes. My question is about the sampling. Okay, sorry,
Mm.
when you explained about the sample, my network was unstable. Please, can you repeat the explanation? You can do the
Okay,
resume.
okay.
Yeah.
Basically, let's say if I'm doing a research, right, for online students, the people who are involved in online education. So all the people, all the students in the world are my population simply, right? Now I cannot access everyone, so I can use different methods. Let's say I'm going for a sample, a small group. Now this small group can be a random sampling. I randomly select the people whosoever I know, so I can get the data from them. Or I may have a list of all the peoples. Let's say I'm getting the information from AIU and I'm coming up with a systematic sampling that I will ask. I will take first student, then 10th student, then 20. So I am giving a very systematic, or either I am coming up with certain status. Let's say male and female, bachelor students, undergraduate students, graduate students, and from that status I can get a sample. All it depends. Basically, the thing is, all it depends that what are snowball sampling I have discussed about non-probability sampling. Let's say if I don't know any person, I just know one person. Then from that person, I can get a sample of that person.
Hello,
Hello? Yeah.
So all
hello,
these,
Dr. Said.
yeah,
Are you there?
yeah, yeah. Hello.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, continue.
Okay.
Hello, still look. You got answer for your question?
You
Yeah,
should.
but I have the second one, the second question. Okay, I don't know, I can know that I can proceed or not. Can
Okay.
I?
Yeah,
Yes,
sure.
Dr. Said.
Can I?
Yeah, yeah. I'm
You're asking
here.
the second question, but just try to
Yeah,
use
okay.
because there are many
Forgive me.
students.
All right.
Okay,
All
thank
right.
you. Okay. The second question is, sometimes when we are doing the water supply system design for some few minutes, you go there, we start doing the survey, and we go there to know how the people prefer to get the water. If they prefer
Okay.
have a tap at the land, or they prefer to get the water inside the house, or they prefer to go to the fontaine. And we have a sample of the people to get this point. For my question is, which type of methodology you are suggesting to do this sample? I don't know that is
Okay.
right.
This is basically purposive sampling, or this is basically purposive sampling. We have a certain purpose, and we know these are the exact people from where we can get information, right? So now we are not going for any random or certified or any, but here our sampling technique will be a purposive sampling, since we are addressing a certain purpose, and these very people are very linked with. So that comes under the purposive sampling.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
Yeah.
Now let us come to the next Jima. Jima Musa, please unmute your microphone and ask your question. Hello, Jima.
Yes, good evening.
Welcome.
Good evening, representative. Good evening, all. Mine, for my understanding, because now this research is like introduction. For example, if someone has completed your study, then how can you are going to start your research? All those from introduction up to the conclusion, you can make one by one, or how can you are going to start?
I couldn't get your answer, question. Please, can you repeat?
Repeat your
My
question again.
my question is, because we are doing online, we are doing on online course.
Right.
So after completion, there is a research paper which is going to
Hmm.
be filled. Then from beginning, from introduction up to conclusion. Then for all those questions, we are going to fill one by one up to conclusion from introduction up to conclusion, or there is any question.
Actually,
There is a question.
actually,
Okay.
all these
Yes.
contents, either this is a dissertation, either this is a research paper, they are the like you can say the important contents. We have to address these things. We have to write the introduction, methodology, problem, data analysis, interpretation, conclusion. They are all the important parts. Either that is a research paper, either, so you always start with the introduction and end up with a conclusion, but there, we cannot skip any one of them. I hope
Okay.
you got your
Okay,
question.
thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
All right, all
Thank
right.
you. Yeah. Let us also proceed to Waziana. Unmute your microphone, please.
Hello, everybody.
Hello. Welcome.
Hello,
Yes.
welcome.
My question is, if we do a literature review, and take we take all the notes from a secondary sources. So is it correct if we use them
Mhm.
and making them a proper words in, will it be plagiarism or not?
Okay. Obviously, literature review is based on previous work. We are
Previous word.
using the same thing. We are reviewing, but we need to rewrite same thing and we need to cite. Whenever we are rewriting, let's say I'm using the secondary sources, for sure I'm using the journals, published work and everything. But one of the important thing is if I'm using someone verse, I need to cite. Whenever I'm citing or I'm giving a quotation, so that is not plagiarism, right? But we need to
Uh,
rewrite the concept in our words. This is
the word.
that
If
is
we put
how.
the exact words and we put a superscript, we numbered it, we said we have taken it from these sources. Is it right?
Yeah, is it right? But only if you feel like within one or within two times, if you are using the quotations and you think
Quotation.
this is really important, let's say you are defining, then it's okay. Otherwise, you cannot do it like this. That is again comes under plagiarism. So quotation must be, let's say, 1% of your research. And one
Oh,
thing, 19% plagiarism is allowed. So let's say you can a little bit use, but you cannot wholly solely copy
okay.
anything. Yeah.
Can we use AI to minimize them?
Yeah, but usually now there are policies that the use of AI in literature review, there are certain tools and techniques are there. But now, as a standard, there is no policy of AI in use of as a plagiarism policy. But there are few scholars that think that extensive use of AI for proofreading or anything that again comes under the domain of plagiarism. But obviously, till now, there is no exactly, let's say, for Turnitin we use for plagiarism, right? 19% is allowed. But there is no software that talks about that how much AI based tools are used. But there are research based tools of AI, they are now being used for this literature review.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Let us proceed to Victor. Unmute your microphone and ask your question, please.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. That's a great presentation. I want to find out the first presentation, some of us were not there. How do we get those presentation, the materials? And also the analysis. Is there any software or the tool for analyzing data? Is there any software, the tool that you can recommend for us? And then how do we get access to them to analyze the data?
Okay. So I have talked about that either it depends that our research is qualitative or quantitative. For quantitative research, SPSS, Strata, R, these are the softwares. Even we can use Excel for our research. And for quantitative, let's say for qualitative research, there is in vivo for transcription and generating themes. So these are the softwares, they are available to analyze the data. AI tools are there, machine learning tools are there. So there are a lot of tools are available, but all it depends that what sort of data you have and what sort of analysis you are interested in. Um, let's say all the secondary primary data, quantitative data, usually SPSS, eViews, Strata, and R, they are used for analysis.
Hello, Victor. I hope you got an answer. Let us proceed to the Ilivis or Congo or Dingo.